Hi everybody, welcome to the African Dad Reacts channel. I am the African Dad. In this channel, we discuss global issues, global events, and we discuss how those global events affect the rest of the world. If I are to receive $1 every time Trump mentioned the word tariff, I can assure you the last 4 months only, I think by now I would be a millionaire, because Trump is always mentioning the word tariff here, tariff. In today's video, I want us to discuss Trump's tariffs, the tariffs he has imposed on different countries. By the way, he wants to impose tariffs on many countries, but today we'll discuss only 3 countries. The effect of America's tariffs on 3 countries. These countries are Mexico, Canada, and China. So we could look at some videos and then we discuss those videos and see how the tariffs affect the rest of the world. The first video we're going to look at is Trump himself speaking and issuing the tariffs.
I'm Helena Humphrey. Good to have you with us. We begin with breaking news out of the White House, where US President Donald Trump has signed tariffs on imports from Canada, Mexico and China, America's top trading partners. Now, a 25% tariff is imposed on Canadian goods, with a 10% levy placed on Canadian oil exports. Mexico has been slapped with a similar 25% tax. President Trump has also placed a 10% tariff on all Chinese goods coming into the United States. Well, the White House says that the tariffs are meant to, quote, hold China, Mexico and Canada accountable for the flow of undocumented immigrants and fentanyl into the United States. The tariffs are set to come into effect on Tuesday. That's according to the administration. Well, Canadian officials are decrying the Trump administration's move. In statements online, Ontario's Premier Doug Ford said that the tariffs will, quote, hurt America, writing that Canada now has no choice but to hit back and hit back hard. Meanwhile, China's Ministry of Commerce repeated its earlier message of caution that there would be no winner in a trade war. And Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has yet to issue an updated statement, but she has previously said that she would approach tariffs with a, quote, cool head. Well, joining me live.
There you are. We have watched the first video. The first video, we have seen that Trump has imposed tariffs on those 3 countries, i.e. China, Canada, and Mexico. On Canada, he imposed 25% tariff on all goods that are coming out of Canada. But he imposed only 10% tariff on oil imported from Canada to the US. Interesting. On oil, only 10% tariff. Okay. And then Mexico, 25% tariff. By the way, a lot of those Mexican goods imported from Mexico are actually goods that are manufactured by American companies that are going to set up those factories near the border with Mexico because labor is cheaper there. So they go there, they put up the factories, and then they import those goods from Mexico. So they're importing goods, but basically they're made by Americans, not Americans, but by American companies. And then lastly, of course, he imposed a 10% tariff on goods from China. How come? Why only 10%? China only 10% is a good reason. This is because in his first term, in 2018-2019, Trump imposed tariffs on Chinese goods ranging between 10% and 25%. So this 10% is imposing now is in addition to what he imposed earlier on in 2018-2019. So he's not just imposing 10% on Chinese goods. Now, the question is why? Why is Trump obsessed with tariffs? Why is he obsessed with adding tariffs on goods that are imported into America? So there are 2 reasons why. Number 1, trade imbalance. When countries that trade with each other, you find a country imports goods and exports goods. The amount of imports that America does with these 3 countries is big. A lot of money is imported from these countries, whereas the exports that America exports to these countries is minimal. So you find that there's a trade imbalance, where you find that Canada, Mexico, and China all export too much to America. America exports those countries, but what they export is minimal. So all you have, you've got a trade imbalance. You've got a trade deficit in terms of the import and export. So Trump is not happy with this. He wants to rectify this. How does he rectify this? By imposing tariffs. Because when he imposes tariffs on these goods, the goods being imported to America become more expensive. If they're more expensive, it implies that Americans will buy less of them. That's number 1. 2, another reason why Trump's obsessed with the word tariffs is because of two things: illegal immigrants. Immigrants, you have seen TV sessions where you find Latinos walking through the border of Mexico and America. Okay, so he wants to stop these illegal migrants from entering USA through the borders. So illegal immigrants from Canada to America, illegal migrants from Mexico to America. He wants these illegal migrants to be stopped. That's number one. Number two, he wants to stop the drugs, hard drugs, okay, and fentanyl entering America. These drugs basically enter down south through the border of Mexico and America, and likewise too, a little bit of it enters from Canada down into America. So he wants to stop illegal immigration of immigrants, and then he wants to stop the movement of drugs to America. So now, question is, what are the potential effects of Trump imposing those tariffs on those three countries? Number one, we expect these countries not be happy. Canada, Mexico, and China will not be happy. They'll also want to retaliate by doing what? By also imposing their own tariffs on their exports to America. So what you end up having a global trade war. A global trade war in which what happens? This country imposes tariffs, prices rise. This country retaliates by imposing tariffs, prices rise. So what happens? In all those countries, the prices of their goods are going to go up, and the consumers, the citizens in those countries are going to feel the pinch because prices are going to be raised. So we are going to look at some videos to support this. Let's look at the reaction from Canada.
Tonight, I am announcing Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods. This will include immediate tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods as of Tuesday, followed by further tariffs on $125 billion worth of American products in 21 days' time to allow Canadian companies and supply chains to seek to find alternatives. Our response will also be far-reaching and include everyday items such as American beer, wine, and bourbon, fruits and fruit juices, including orange juice, along with vegetables, perfume, clothing, and shoes. It'll include major consumer products like household appliances, furniture, and sports equipment, and materials like lumber and plastics, along with much, much more. And as part of our response, we are considering, with the provinces and territories, several non-tariff measures, including some relating to critical minerals, energy, procurement, and other partnerships. We will stand strong for Canada. We will stand strong to ensure our countries continue to be the best neighbors in the world. I want to speak directly to Americans, our closest friends and neighbors. This is a choice that, yes, will harm Canadians, but beyond that, it will have real consequences for you, the American people. As I have consistently said, tariffs against Canada will put your jobs at risk, potentially shutting down American auto assembly plants and other manufacturing facilities. They will raise costs for you, including food at the grocery stores and gas at the pump. They will impede your access to an affordable supply of vital goods crucial for U.S. security, such as nickel, potash, uranium, steel, and aluminum. They will violate the free trade agreement that the President and I, along with our Mexican partner, negotiated and signed a few years ago. Together, we've built the most successful economic, military, and security partnership the world has ever seen. A relationship that has been the envy of the world. Yes, we've had our differences in the past, but we've always found a way to get past them. As I've said before, if President Trump wants to usher in a new golden age for the United States, the better path is to partner with Canada, not to punish us.
There you are, you heard him say that the best thing for Trump to do is to partner with Canada, but not to punish Canada. And he warned Americans. He talked direct to American people and warned them that they should be prepared because Canada is going to retaliate by also imposing its own taxes. And he warned Americans directly, saying that expect some auto plants to close. Of course, if auto plants close, it means that people are going to lose their jobs. He has said that expect that the price of oil, the price of petrol in the petrol pumps to go up. Of course, once that happens, of course, the productivity and the cost of productivity is going to go up. So we have had the Canadian Prime Minister talking, and he has talked calmly, and I think he has also given a warning because he doesn't want this. He doesn't want to do what he's doing. I think he's been forced to do this. Okay, he doesn't want to impose taxes on Americans, but he's simply retaliating to what Trump has done. So next, let's look at the next video because we also have China and we have Mexico.
Min Min, what has been announced so far from Beijing?
Well, as you said, that antitrust investigation into Google, as well as a series of tariffs, 10 to 15% on American agricultural machines, as well as oil, coal, LNG. A couple of American companies added to this unreliable entity list, and also export control on tungsten-related materials used for solar panels, semiconductors. Very precise, very targeted measures, although not extensive, but it shows that China is not going to back down without a fight. Now, some analysts had expected that maybe China will not retaliate so quickly, and clearly this is a very highly choreographed move given that China had waited exactly until after the tariff kicked in at 1:01 p.m. local Beijing time before announcing these series of coordinated measures. And this comes as Trump had said he plans to speak with President Xi within 24 hours. That was several hours ago. And he said that if no deal is reached, that the tariffs could be, quote, very, very substantial. So 10% is just the starting point. It could go up or go down from there, depending on how negotiations go.
There you are. You've heard the third video. China reacting to America imposing the 10% tariffs on Chinese goods entering America. You've heard China too are also going to impose their own tariffs on goods they imported from America. Like we said before, why only 10%? We say that before, in the first Trump's presidency, he already imposed some tariffs on Chinese goods. By the way, the Chinese, unlike the Mexicans and the Canadians, are used to having these trade wars with America. They are always having trade wars, almost every year. So the experts are responding to this kind of trade wars. And they reacted firmly but calmly because they are always doing this, okay? So trade wars. Are trade wars good? I want you to comment in the comment section on whatever is going on between America and these three countries. So China has reacted, has imposed tariffs on American goods that are coming into China. Canada has responded, and likewise to Mexico too has responded by also imposing their own tariffs on goods that are being imported from America. So what do we have here? We have here a global trade war, and that's not good for the citizenry in those countries. Apart from having a trade war, a global trade war between America and those three countries, the other possibility is for those three countries to succumb and give in and apply some of the restrictions that are imposed on them by Trump. I want us to look at the next video where you can see the reaction of those three countries.
Tonight, just hours before a trade war was set to commence, a partial step back from the brink. President Trump saying he'll delay 25% tariffs on Mexico because Mexico's president made concessions involving the border, including sending more soldiers to patrol for drugs and migrants.
They've agreed to put in 10,000 soldiers permanently, like forever, 10,000 soldiers at their side of the border and stop fentanyl and illegal aliens from coming into our country.
President Trump delaying the tariffs for 30 days while talks continue. Mexico's president today saying, I'm sure in this month we'll be able to give results. While late this afternoon, a 30-day delay on tariffs against Canada, too, after Canada's prime minister said he will also beef up border security following President Trump's tariff threat, including spending $1.3 billion reinforcing the border with 10,000 frontline personnel. President Trump posting, Canada has agreed to ensure we have a secure northern border and to finally end the deadly scourge of drugs like fentanyl that have been pouring into our country. U.S. officials say 43 pounds of fentanyl were seized on the northern border last year, a relatively small amount compared to Mexico. Meanwhile, there's still a midnight deadline for 10% tariffs on China.
Great. So we have seen that video where the two countries are basically given in, and they are sending 10,000 soldiers to their borders, the border between Mexico and Canada, Mexico and America, the border between Canada and America, 10,000 soldiers to man the borders. These troops are going to prevent the entry of migrants, illegal immigrants into the country, and those troops are also going to prevent or reduce the amount of drugs that basically go into America from those countries, fentanyl drugs and the hard drugs. So the question is, why have those countries agreed? Why are they succumbed? Why are they given in to Trump's demands? I think, as far as I'm concerned, America is the biggest market. Those two countries are lucky that they are next to America, they are neighboring America, and the best place they can actually sell their goods in the world is sitting right next to them. That's America. So think of Mexico. If they don't go selling the goods they're selling to America, where will they take these goods? So the best thing, if I was the Mexican president, I'll make amends and find ways of my country re-exporting the things that they've been exporting before. So those two countries have given in. They have put up the 10,000 troops at their borders. And why have they done this? To allow trade to continue. So hopefully, by doing this, the increase in the tariffs might be done away with or might be reduced. And that way, the amount of goods traded between the two countries are not going to be affected that much. Now, what's my take in all of this? Trump has been in government, has been the president for less than 2 weeks. Yet we have seen a profound change in U.S. foreign policy. A profound change where now, all of a sudden, we never used to hear, under Biden, we never used to hear about tariffs and the like. No. Biden was not fighting against anybody. He was not fighting. The only people he was fighting against were the Chinese. But now, we are finding the president of America is fighting against his neighbors, fighting against his very close neighbor who has supported him, who supported America all these years. Think of Canada. Canada went to the world wars to support America. Their boots went and they were killed in the world wars in Germany or wherever. The Canadians were there. They supported America when America went to Afghanistan. Canada has been a good friend of, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not a specialist in that, but I have always known that Canadians and Americans are like this. They share a long neighbor. On that border, that border, there's no army, there's no police, there's nothing. You see? Why? The two countries basically are more or less have common interests. Now, you have a president who is fighting Canada. Mexico is okay. Mexico is different. I think Mexicans, when they see an American president fight against them, they know, okay, these people and us even fought before, many years ago. But Canada and America, it's the first time. No wonder the Canadians reacted. Remember last week? Was it last week or this week? Okay, there was a march. There was a march in a stadium in Toronto, I think it was Toronto. And when the American national anthem was being sung, for the first time ever, Canadians were booing. They were booing the American national anthem. This has never happened before. Why? Because of this trade war. Because Trump is imposing tariffs on Canada. So the Canadians are reacting. That's number one. So my take on this is that there's been a profound shift in foreign policy under Trump. Within less than 2 weeks, he's imposing lots of taxes. He's moving from soft power to hard power. In soft power, what happened in soft power? Let me give you an example. Americans, they are pop music. When I was in high school, when I was a student many years ago, I'm an old man, I loved American pop music. See, by liking American pop music, you hear some messages and all that. So in the process, some things change in you because you accept some norms. You find those musicians dress certain ways and the like. They are able to change your culture from their pop music, okay? And other things, okay? Their basketball and the like. That's soft power. As opposed to hard power. In hard power, like now, America can say, okay, now, this Panama Canal, you're the ones who built it, we must take over, we must bring your what? you bring your warships and the like. That's hard power. You want to use military might. You want to coerce another country so as to do what you want them to do, to follow your will. Okay? So Trump, unlike Biden was using soft power. Trump has come in with a complete shift in foreign policy using hard power. He wants to achieve this, and he wants to achieve it by force. And basically, has forced the Canadians and the Mexicans to change their tact, and they are going to put up those 10,000 troops on the border because of that. So his bully tactics, his hard stance, and bully tactics, basically, as far as I'm concerned, he's achieving his aims. He's achieving his aims. I don't think he went about it the right way, but so what? What he has set out to do is achieving what he has set out to do. So this time he's achieving from Canada and from Mexico. We have not seen the reaction from the Chinese, but I believe that even the Chinese too, they have more to lose. They have more to lose than even Canada and Mexico. I believe in them too. They'll just comply and do the things that America wants them to do. So that is what hard power, I think, America's hard power from Trump, I think, is winning. But will the same happen when America goes outside these three and go fight against the European Union? Will it happen with Britain? Will it happen the rest of the world? So it will be interesting to see this. It will be interesting to see this. Okay. So what's your take on this? Could you please write in the comment section your take on this? Do you agree with me? Or what do you think? Is Trump going about how to achieve his aims the right way? Do you think we'll have used a different method to achieve his aims? Do you think America is treating their neighbors well? Okay. Now, please, if you have something to talk about, please write in the comments. If you agree with me, okay, state what. And then if you think there's something else that I missed out, go to the comment section and write up the comment section what you think you should have done better, or what you think I could have done better. Okay. And don't forget, please, to subscribe so that you can be able to receive any new videos. You can be notified. And please press on the like button, okay, if you like the things that you're talking about, okay, and share the video with your friends so that they can also enjoy what you're looking at right now. Having said that, thank you very much for being there with us today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.